Hey guys, it's Rakers from Social Media Daredevil, and today we're going to talk about the fortune in the follow-up. And usually this means follow-up like phone calls and emails and all that other fun stuff, which is very true, but we're going to have a little bit of a spin on this, and this is follow-up question. And this goes along with our other video that we had out, which is the big three, and we'll get into that later, but that's what we're going to talk about today, so let's get to it. Okay, so today we're going to talk about following up on the big three questions. And the big three, in case you haven't read that blog post or watched that video, go watch it now because it's really going to help you out with today's video. But essentially, we want to ask our potential students before they sign up, or potential clients slash customers, we want to ask them three questions before they ask it themselves. And those three questions are, do I really need this? Now that's what they're going to ask themselves. So you're going to say essentially like, why are you here? Like, why do you think you need this? So first one is, why are you here? And the second one is, why are you here now? Like, why are you signing up now? And the last one is, why us? So generally, your clients are going to be asking themselves that question when you're giving them your little pitch, like, hey, we're going to do this and all this other stuff. They're going to go, oh, do I really need this? Do I really need this now? And do I need this from this guy or this school? So we want to preempt those questions, ask them ourselves, and get those answers. So we're going to do a little bit of role play, but the other thing about it is, and we will get to the role play, don't worry about it. So the other thing too is, while we're going to get those answers, we want to start digging deeper. But let's just do scenario one. So we're going to do a little bit of role play starting now. Okay, so in this scenario, we're just going to ask the basic three questions, get some information, but not really follow up, okay? So if I ask the person, so why are you here? Why jiu-jitsu? And they might say, well, I need to get back in shape and lose a few pounds. And you'll say, okay, that's great. And why now? And they, of course, might answer with, well, if I don't start now, I might never start. And then, of course, you would say, well, why us? And they might respond with, well, you're close to my house. Now, you've asked those three questions, which is really good. We're at a really good start. And if you do that, you're way ahead of most people in sales. But we want to dig a little bit deeper so that we can find maybe some of those pain points. Like, what are the real pain points? And when we find those pain points, really make it real to them and connect with them. Okay, so let's role play again, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper into those big three questions. So you say, why are you thinking about starting jiu-jitsu? And they reply, again, same answer, which is, well, I need to get in shape and lose a few pounds. And you might say, so is weight like a thing that you've struggled with before, or is this like just holiday pounds? And they might say, well, no, it's just holiday pounds and my clothes don't fit right. Now, that's a good bit of information. And what we might want to follow up with there is, it's really great that you're here because we don't want you to be still stuck in some clothes that don't fit very well in 3 months. So that's really good. And you could follow up with this, like say, well, I'm really glad that you're here today because we don't want you to be sitting around 3 months from now when you've done nothing and your clothes still fit tight. In fact, we have two of our members, Brad and Tony. They both lost weight. Brad lost, 30 pounds. Tony lost 15 pounds the first 2 months, and they're really, really happy. Okay, so the second question, which was why now? So their answer was, well, I figured if I don't start now, I might never start. So the next question you will ask is, so why now? So why is this a good time for you now? Why not 3 months from now or 3 months ago? And again, their answer was, well, if I don't start now, I might never start. And then you can follow up with a question like, so how old are you? And of course, if it's a woman, you might not want to ask that. But you can say, so how old are you? And say, well, I'm 35 or 38, whatever. And you can say, you know what, that's great. We have a lot of guys in that age group, 35 and up here, and they absolutely love it. And there's one regret all those guys would probably tell you. Do you know what that is? And they'll say, no. They all wish they had started sooner. Everybody that does jiu-jitsu says, man, I wish I would have started this when I was younger. I'd be so much further ahead. So it's really good that you're here today and that you've decided to take some action. Okay, and the last question you would say is, all right, so why us? Like, why not somebody else? And their answer was, well, because you're close to home. And then your follow-up could be, oh, so where do you live? How far are you? And they might say, well, we live in such and such subdivision or this part of town. And you go, okay, that's really great. So you're only maybe 10 minutes away. It's really good. Do you generally have a hectic schedule? And they might say, well, yeah, actually I do. I have a couple kids. Usually there's soccer, this and that going on. But there's a little bit of a lull. And so I thought this would be a good time. And you guys are really close. And again, you can follow up with, you know, it's like the universe is lining up for us here because it's a good time. And you know, you're not getting any younger, as you said, and it's a good place right here for you to lose a few pounds. And then we can start going into the sale. Okay, so when it comes time to close, you're gonna have all this information that's gonna help you lead your potential customer down to a signature and a signed agreement. So let's get into some action steps. So the first action step is make sure that you're very familiar with the big three. Action step number 2 is start writing out some potential follow-ups. And of course, this is gonna be very different if you're talking to a male versus a female, or parents, and there's a number of different scenarios that you could run into. So start figuring out, okay, what are the potential follow-up questions I need to get, as well as potential answers. So just remember, if you were in any kind of debate and you knew what somebody was gonna say before they said it, and you had the answers to or rebuttal to that, imagine how much better you'd be at that debate. Same thing with sales. We wanna know what the customer is thinking, what their possible objections are, and then things to kind of calm those objections down. A lot of times it's just fear, and we just want to calm that fear so that we can get them into taking action, getting into your school. And number 3 is practice. So you don't want to just practice this, you know, as they're coming in. You want to practice this beforehand, right? Just like jiu-jitsu, you wouldn't practice something in a tournament. You would say, hey, I've never tried this before. I'll just try it now and expect that it's gonna work. You would drill it. That way when it comes time to a tournament or some kind of match, you're ready to go, you're prepared. Okay, so again, I hope you found this helpful. I really want you guys to help grow your school. And if you need any more help, go to our website, socialmediadaredevil.com. We've got a lot of great resources on there. And other than that, grow your school and sell like hell.